When to get the video in. Namaskar. Namaskar, everybody. I welcome you to today's edition of Living Forward, creating new speedways of knowledge. My guest today is the unique Siddharth Rajsekar, founder of the Internet Lifestyle Hub. People are gathering. Lovely, lovely. Sunday morning, 11 a.m. here in India. Many people ask me, why do I do this show on Sunday mornings? And I tell them, seriously, on all other days, work gets people alive. I love it when people come alive for themselves. Living forward today. So, can we have the opening video, please? I want to come on. I want to come on. Yes. Namaskar, 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 everybody. I'm so very happy to see you here. Aha. Fantastic. It feels great, you know, when Sunday mornings, people are there on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah. So fantastic, dear friends. Today is going to be a very, very interesting conversation, a conversation around what's possible. What's possible always inspires me, especially when you're in a period like this. Remember, wherever we are, the way out is also going to be from right here. So today, the person that I'm going to be interacting with is, what should I say? I will give you exactly the reference that he gives me, and it really fits him beautifully. It says, I'm a musician turned digital geek on a mission to create the next breed of digital teachers and learners. Dear friends, it's an absolute pleasure for me to welcome to Living Forward my dear friend, Sid Rajsekar.
Thank you so much, Ashish ji. Great to be here.
Wow, wow, wow. I'm so very happy, so delighted, Sid, to have you here on this show. To tell the rest of the people to begin with, I met Sid about 4 years back in one of the events of Success Gyan.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that some profession like this could exist. And then I saw this young lad come onto the stage and light it up with this quiet demeanor. Okay, that really inspired me. And since then, we have spoken over different symposia in different cities, and then we have stayed in touch. And now we have been also doing programs online, right, Sid? So one of the first ones you created. So here we are. Over to you, Sid. The first question is, what is freedom for you, my friend?
Great question. Freedom is a choice. According to me, it is something which we will have to make a conscious decision on a day-to-day basis. And people look at freedom in different ways. For some people, freedom is a form of expression, how they can express themselves freely. For some people, freedom is, for some people, just maybe having that time for them to do what they want, maybe having the financial capacity to make those decisions without thinking twice about how much is there in the bank account. That could be freedom for some. But on a more deeper level, the way that I look at freedom is a little counterintuitive. For me, freedom comes through surrender. And in my life, whenever I have felt stuck, when I wanted to get more free, I had to surrender to mentors or teachers who could show me the way. And again, the classic example is from our own, our scripture. Arjuna had to surrender to Krishna, and then he got this knowledge, and that actually helped him look at a new dimension of, the way that he even fought that war. So for me, the way that I look at freedom is not just time freedom, financial freedom, but freedom through surrender, and that actually gives freedom. I do not know if you're able to connect with what I'm saying, but it's very
Beautiful.
counterintuitive.
You put
Yes.
it, and I love this. I love the counterintuitive nature that you bring forth in your conversations, and therefore, intuitively, a question that people keep dealing with is that there are things that have happened in the past, things that we haven't done, and the things that we could have done, and we all seem to be trapped in those things, and therefore we feel less free at this moment because for example, people haven't had the kind of education that they wanted. They didn't have the kind of family that they would have aspired for, and because of that they don't feel free now. So I thought it was an apt question to ask to a school dropout.
Yes, dropped out of college.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, college
that
dropout.
was
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, college is just a higher school, right? And you dropped out and you created something. And please tell me something about it. Is that how is this dropout? What allowed him to express himself in such a way?
See, during my school days, I studied in Bangalore, studied in Bishop Cotton's. Everything was fun, and I was mostly outside class. Like I was an outstanding student, not inside class. I was outside class. In school choir, I used to play cricket for school, so I was always in cricket practice and doing something outside. So I really felt more alive when I was outside the typical blackboard, classroom. And that's where I felt I was able to express myself more. So when I went into college, that whole 11th and 12th, if I remember, I think I had some 11% attendance in my 11th, like first PUC. And it was crazy because I was not able to sit in the classroom for an hour period, but I used to be learning other things. I was playing snooker, all kinds of stuff that was happening outside. And that was the reason I failed my 12th. So it was a very clear not having interest in the regular form of education, and I was excited in doing other things, and of course the rebel phase during the teenage years. So I scored 28% in my maths board exams, and everybody in my family is like, you well educated, BE, MS, going to US. It's like I come from a typical Tambram, Iyer Tair Sadham family.
Yeah.
So that the flow, everyone becomes a software engineer and stuff. So for me, it was like a black sheep of the family, and I had to look at what was I really good at. And the only thing that I was good at that point of time when I failed was music. I've been playing keyboard since the age of 10. I was playing in the school music band, and I'm a keyboardist. And I found a course in sound engineering at that point of time. I saw a newspaper ad, and the only requirement was a 10th pass for that. So I went and immediately checked out this institute in Chennai called SAE. You might have heard of it, School of Audio Engineering. And I was one of the first few people in the first few batches that got into that back in 2001.
Okay.
And 9-month course, I was literally living in the studio for hours together, making music, because I'm a keyboardist. I used to be in all the different sessions. I used to play songs for the other batchmates. So I was literally living in the studio under the mixer and all that stuff. And by the end of that course, I had scored 92%, and I was one of the toppers there. And the founder of that institute, they recruited me back to start teaching. So I actually started my journey teaching at the age of 19 because I really loved what I was doing in that case. So when I say college dropout, I'm so glad that it happened, because then I could find my real passion and my calling at that point of time, which was music.
And interestingly, your grandpa did say something to you.
Of course, yeah. I always say that in all my webinars. So this was flashback in 1991. So I came back from school one of the days. Grandpa was sitting in the hall, and I go to him, and I loved my grandpa a lot. I went and held his hand, and I asked him seriously, asked him, Tata, why should I go to school? I asked him this question. And grandpa, he used to work for the Britishers, and I think he completed only till 5th standard, and then he set up his own business, and I'm like a chip of the old block. So granddad knew my heart, and then he looked into my eyes and he said, Sid, never let schooling interfere with your education. He was quoting Mark Twain. I did not understand what he was saying back then, but he was saying whether you're inside school or outside school, you got to keep learning. And he was a voracious reader. Like he used to read P.G. Wodehouse and all those classics and all that English. I really have to thank grandpa for the English that he gave to our family.
Yeah.
So
But
Yeah,
I think
that,
Sid, what you said is another very, very interesting point. I'm just kind
yeah,
of, when you said that, so here is a college dropout, you know, not saying that education is not important, but just saying that don't let schooling or your ability to score marks to come in your way of continuously educating yourself. And
yeah,
that's the point which really inspires me. Yeah.
yes,
And as you
absolutely.
said that, as you even began that first being a teacher in keyboard, essentially what I hear here is that you started doing something which you loved.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yes.
how important is it for people to connect with things that they really love as opposed to what people want them to do?
It's huge. I think that'll be a, I mean, that'll be a big differentiator between the mediocre and those who can really create a dent in this universe, like Steve Jobs says. That's the differentiation. So I have to thank my parents for this, because my dad and mom really were open to allowing
Yeah,
me to explore. And I think this
sure.
comes back to a deeper rooted societal you know paradigms that have been set in, even from a parenting perspective, like, you have to go to school, you have to get that degree, only then you can be successful in life, and all that is like ingrained so deep into our culture, probably in the last 30 years, that they feel there's only one way to be successful, and
Yeah.
that is a conventional path, because there's safety, there's security, and all of that there. But thanks to my parents, I was able to explore this area, and I was able to really bloom in that area and grow. And this is huge, because people who, like, I can see some of my friends who went to the conventional stream, yes, they got good marks, they got into great colleges, engineering, but and now they're feeling some kind of hollowness, like, I wish I'd done
Sure.
this before.
Sure.
So
So
that's
in
the
a
point.
way, Sid, I'm also seeing a very important role, because I think the parents do play a very important role in this, especially
Yes.
when there is a case like yours, and in my case also,
Mm,
that they have had to face the brunt of society, who are saying, what,
mm.
your son is not going your child is not doing the regular thing. Now here is my question: what is it that tells us in our head that the standard is safe? What is your take on that, that the standard is safe?
Yes.
If you do this, then you are safe, and something else is unsafe. I would love to hear your take on that.
Yeah, yeah. This is all coming from the time education system was introduced, like from Britisher days, possibly. Like, they created the initial education system to really create a workforce that is employable, and
Mm.
employability was safety, equal safety.
Yeah.
So we had the previous generation, which is like, if you become a doctor, if you become an engineer, then you're sure to get a job, and then you'll be safe and secure. And we had that first generation that really experienced that kind of security. But
Mm.
now, in a fast changing world, we are seeing like big MNCs recruiting people even without degrees, who have the skills and aptitude. So
Mm.
I think that whole paradigm is moving. And I wanted to ask you, Ashish, like, in your case,
Mm.
the whole acting scene, I mean, did you have to go through that conventional college in
Yeah.
that creative space, or were did you just pick it up like that? How was your
Yeah.
experience on that?
So my take here is that very early on, Sid, I experienced me being a complete misfit.
Is it?
And in the 80s, Sid, when you are there wasn't much space. You either were a failure. So in Delhi, you are a failure.
Mm,
Failure is a
mm,
person who fails. Okay.
mm.
And then there was this horrible thing called retest. People were
Yeah.
scared. At that time, any sort of coaching, which was known as the extra classes that you would take,
Yes.
that means you're a failure. That's why you require the teacher to come in and teach. So it was a slur. And I
Mm,
remember, as I stepped into my school, I could understand things, I could communicate, but I
mm.
felt an absolute failure in answering questions. And
Okay.
so therefore I somehow knew that I had to go through this, because I had no choice. Because for me,
Mm,
at that point, I knew that my parents were sending me to school. They said that, okay, you'll have to complete school.
mm,
But I did not see anything ahead of me. But I was clear that this will give me a lot of respect around at this
mm,
moment, but it is not to my calling. So
mm.
during college when I was studying, so I had science
Okay. Mm,
in school, and thanks to the new education system, I passed, because I just
mm.
got 12 out of 100 in math. Even though I
Wow.
loved science, I still love
Mm,
science. but I cannot handle math.
Mm.
So the dichotomies of life, I feel,
Mm.
are never taken care by any education system, because they
Mm.
need parameters. So
Correct.
what excites me about the way you have journeyed, the way kind of, I had the privilege of journeying, is
Mm.
to get that the alternate is moving around in this life itself.
Yes.
If only we choose to look at it. All
Mm.
right. And therefore it comes to my thing that what is this alternate that you chose to create?
Mm.
Once you are a keyboardist, you're starting teaching. Now where does Sid go? What is his alternate? How does he continue on that journey?
Yes. And just to backtrack before I bring in this new journey is like there are templates. Like everybody has a template of life, or the templates that have been installed by society, installed by family, installed by this the whole surrounding environment that we're in. So there's a box like template that everyone says, okay, you do this and it's going to be you'll be successful. So everyone here watching, I mean, my only message is that everyone has the right and has the free will to create your own template. You don't have to fit into that template. Yes, you can create a template of your own and you design it based on who you are, your uniqueness, because all of us are unique in this world, and each of us are born with a few gifts. Some of us are born with abilities slightly better than others in some cases, which probably it's a carry forward of past life karma, if I have to get into that topic. But the whole aspect is, and skills can be learned. The new skills can be learned. So
Yeah.
the point here is to create, constantly keep reinventing and creating a new template. So now the new template I've created for myself, again based on whatever is happening, like Steve Jobs says, when you connect the dots backwards, it is because of going through that phase of dropping out of college, not having the right environment initially to really bloom, and then I found myself the right space to actually grow in the music industry. Then I moved into the telecom industry. I used to make music for mobile games and all that stuff, ringtones. That was my second phase.
Yeah.
So now the template, I mean, when I connect all the dots from backwards and look forward, it's like probably I need to, this is my mission, is to really help create the next breed of teachers who can really help others discover themselves and help them reach the goal what they want. So in other words, the teacher plays such an important role in the growth of any individual.
And you do mention them as teachers and leaders.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. A
Teachers
leader is
and
someone who
leaders.
can move people in a particular direction. That's what
Oh,
is a leader. Yes.
awesome. Awesome. So, and today you are at the cusp of, and what is, please tell us something about your organization, and the movement that you're leading. Tell us something about it.
Yes. So I ran a typical digital agency for 6 to 7 years, along with my co-founder Meena, and then in 2018 I decided to take a different turn, because I wanted to build something which was more community oriented and something which is more product oriented than a typical service business. So right now, so in 2018 I founded this community called the Internet Lifestyle Hub, with the core mission being to be able to live and run a business from anywhere in the world. I mean, that was the foundation, and that's why freedom has always been the core of this community.
Yeah.
So I founded this thing, and initially it was more about how can I help people become digital coaches, digital teachers, so that they can take their expertise and package that into the 4 C's. That's courses, coaching, consulting, and collaborations. So that's pretty much the model that I integrated into it. And then little did I know that it would grow to such a large extent in the last 25 months. Like we have around 8,500 people in the community right now who are actually, building their own ecosystem, I should call it. And now the vision has transformed from just being like a community that's helping people become, a digital coach, to now we are literally creating the new school for the new world. We want to create a new society for the new world, and we have a lot of teachers in this community, and many people who even have never taught before are now able to identify what is their area of interest and passion, and they're able to
Yeah.
make that into a business, not just
Sure.
give free information, but how they can even monetize that. And
Yeah.
and we're having a lot of fun in the whole process. A lot of people are seeing that, that
Sid, in
personal
fact, very
transformation.
interesting,
Yeah.
Gopal Krishnan right now. Can you just bring in Gopal Krishnan's question again? And there's something which I really want to point out.
Yes.
And this question, Gopal, and one of the things that is being developed by Sid is allowing people. So if you are passionate about something, then you can go about and do it rather than waiting for someone else to do it. You're getting a sense of what I'm sharing, all of us, that here is empowering people to create what they really wanted, should have been there. And Sid, and you can the way you can keep changing it. So here is the interesting one for me. It is making a new template for yourself,
Yeah.
and also be ready to ongoingly alter that template.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is, and therefore we, in fact, this show is being titled basis the work that you do, creating new speedways of knowledge, where in today's time there is the need to be agile, the need to be quick, and for me the most fulfilling thing, the ability, the democratization, that if I want something passionately, I can go into it, because this internet is not just for forwarding messages, it is actually to forward lives.
Exactly.
Sid, I really want to ask you, this entire thing that you set up, all right? So you had obviously, a large bank balance and a very rich family to take it forward, right?
Not at all. Not at all. Started with
Tell us.
humble beginnings. Yeah.
So you did
2000.
not have everything all worked out. So everything is now taking you towards in this, and monies are there, stocks are there, and now I get into it. You've sold your stocks worth billions, and now you're doing something of your passion.
It never works that way. It never works that way, and we know that. So 2000, it was the year 2011. I still remember the day I was working in the company at that point of time, and I'd grown the corporate ladder a little bit. Was married. I was 2000. I was 3 years into marriage. Boss calls me into his cabin. I go in, and he says, "Sid, I have to tell you something very important." I asked what. He said, "You've been a good employee in this company for the last so many years, but I'm sorry to tell you that this entire vertical which you're working on, it does not exist anymore. I'm so sorry. I got to let you go." That was one of those moments where it was extremely tough, because I was going through a lot of financial issues in the family. I literally had just $500 in my bank account, and my wife was 3 months pregnant. I still remember the day I went back. Vanita was at home. I told her, I broke the news. I said, "I just lost my job." And she pointed at her stomach and she said, "What do we do about this?" And trust me, I felt like a loser that day. I felt like I didn't feel worthy to be a father. And at that moment, I had to make that decision. The decision of, what am I going to do right now? Should I go back to a job, or should I start something of my own where I have more control? So the starting point of my journey was, I had to pawn my wife's gold jewelry for 10 lakh rupees. And out of that 5 lakhs, I invested in online courses. And
As an
that's what
online
got the
course
whole.
took.
I went and bought a lot of courses, because I knew the internet was growing, and I wanted to educate myself more. It's like going back to re-education. I want to do that. And of course, thanks to the family support also that I had,
Sure.
like I partnered, with my business partner. We set up this agency, and there was some cash flow coming from there as well. But it was an extremely hard phase, and none of this was planned.
So the
Yes.
interesting part for me here is this, and that's what something which all of us have actually experienced in life. But sometimes when we look at others, we keep saying that person has resources, that's why that person has done it.
Yeah.
A key thing that I have discovered in life, just like you mentioned, is that if I have to change this present, tools are only going to be available right now. I cannot wait for the things to happen. The conditions, if I need to change these conditions, I'll need to find my tools and my resolve right now while I'm in the midst of it. And what you have shared is a very, very powerful thing. That how in this midst, so here you are a father to be, and you lose your job, and you come home. So I can actually experience you feel as low can be. And as you said, feeling worthless. Now, I want to ask you one question. It's very, very important for me to understand. From that moment, that one moment of feeling completely worthless, to say that I need to do something about it, because it's very easy for us, any one of us, to feel like a victim. Life is bad, boss is pathetic, it's not worth it. What do you think is the point at which you could shift the needle for yourself?
It's a great question, because at that point of time, I could have gone both ways. Like some people get into the depression and like life is like blaming everything else, like blaming the situation. But again, thanks to grandpa, thanks to my parents, the family, some of the values were instilled at a very young age, in terms of the positive thinking, all those things. So for me, it was a sense of like a fire that just lit at that point. Like I
Ah,
got to make this happen. That fire, it's like a spark just got thing. Like I want to do whatever it takes now. That's it. And it's like it was a different mode that I shifted into. The previous mode was okay, I'm getting the salary first week of every month, all chill, all cool. Life was going. And then now it's like, okay, I got to like pull up my socks. I got to really make things happen. Otherwise, in the next 6 months, first baby's going to be born. I need to take care of my family.
Sid, so very important thing, and I want to stick to this because this is going to be because a lot of us are going through this stuff in this period. Okay, a lot of us were going through this phase even earlier, but now it's out in the open. Everybody has one common enemy, which we can do nothing. All right. So
Yes.
we have this thing that array, what will happen? So first of all, for all of us who are viewing, we have to really get that even before COVID, people were losing jobs. Before COVID, when you lost your job, you actually felt worth less. Even before COVID, people were scared. What if that regular that I have, what if it goes away? So fear has always accompanied us in this walk. So for us to get, the first thing is that do not give too much credit to COVID. If you say that if not COVID, then I would have done it. Listen, people who are fear, all of us have felt fear. For me also, said through my life, I had many pre-COVID times when work stop. I had no work. I had to take care of a family. So here is my question to you. And at that point, as you are saying that, okay, no job, would you imagine that could you have also used that fire when you mentioned the fire, the fact that somebody had fired you? Did you also use that as a fire that, okay, now this has happened to me? Rather than just being angry about that person, I turn that anger into something else for myself, for me to give some new possibilities for myself.
Absolutely. In fact, I even till today, I still respect all my bosses. And interestingly, the boss who had fired me is now a part of my community and he's making a lot of money. Okay,
Wow.
so it's beautiful because for me it's not about burning those bridges ever. Thanks to value system by grandpa. Again, no, never burn the bridges. Okay, never blame
Fantastic.
anyone.
Love it, Sid. We are not without.
Yes.
Remember, even that guy who fired you didn't do it because he had a problem.
Yes.
He was dealing with something. So it's
Absolutely.
crazy if we want to, disassociate ourselves from it. Fantastic. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Please go on.
Yes. So the first part is never burn the bridges. And I was at that point of time, I got into personal development. I was listening to reading Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, and there was a beautiful quote by Jim Rohn that just hit me so hard during that phase. And the quote is, "To have more than you got, you've got to become more than you are." And boom, I realized from that moment, okay, I
You
cannot
just
complain.
repeat it. Can you just repeat it?
I'll repeat that. It is
Have more than what you have.
yes, to
You have to
have more than you got, you've got
okay,
to
to have more
become.
than what you got. Please go on.
You've got to become more than you are.
Can we just be with this?
Yeah.
To have more than what you got to become bigger than who you are. Yeah. I just paraphrased it.
Yes.
But seriously. So the onus is on each of our me's.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the way out of this you got was to learn your way out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn my way out of
Share
it.
about the
Absolutely.
learning journey. Yes.
So the learning journey is, it was an amazing journey. So I've been a part of all the Success Gyan programs, I've been through all of that personal development, attending seminar after seminar, investing a lot of online courses and trying to find mentors. I was actually seeking for mentors who I could follow. And initially I was, in the internet space, you get allured by a lot of shiny objects, marketing messages, buy this tool, you can get rich quick. And I've in fact wasted a lot of money and all that kind of stuff in that initial phase, getting allured. And
I
actually, that
love
was
this.
good.
Sid. I
Yes,
love this. Not just in internet, even in life, we get allured by a lot of shiny things. Got it.
yes,
Please go
yes.
on. Please go on. Lovely.
And I'm very, very thankful that I went through that shiny object syndrome, because then it helped me understand what were the real diamonds. And I was
Mm,
able to find mentors along that journey who really created an impact. And if I have to name some of them, one of the first mentors who had a profound impact on me was Blair Singer. He is he. I attended this program called Train the Trainer under it's a T. Harv Eker program, and that created like a huge impact in me, because before that I was doing a lot of social media workshops and trainings, and that's probably when we would have also, I think we met in 2017, so 2016 I went through this particular event, and
okay.
that's where I got that, the taste, or the differentiation between just a trainer who's just training and who is a leader who can lead. I mean, that differentiation got so much more
Awesome.
clear, because before that I
Awesomeness.
was just running the agency. It was like a service business, just running the, managing people. And so that evolution came going through this journey of personal development and training.
Superb.
And
And in fact, what you just said is to continue this conversation is a very
yes.
interesting one. So at one end, I've always felt that we need the fire. The fire is the
Mm,
igniter.
yeah.
All right. So each one of us have had instances in our life where we are upset with something that
Mm,
we didn't like. So let's not disassociate ourselves from that either. Let's
mm,
not say that no, that should not have happened. Imagine that to be a fire, what Sid is saying,
mm,
using it as a fire to move. And the second part is something which I again love, is the
mm,
magnet. So what you are talking about, your teachers, your mentors,
mm.
look around each one of us. We've got some amazing mentors around. And if we can allow them to be the magnets towards whom we are drawn towards. So at one end is the fire, and the other end are the magnets that we are drawing towards. So I love it. And I'm just trying to put it in a context for people to
Mm.
really get that this search, and as you said, the search to actually understand, yes, I did go, you and I, all of us have gone past our mistakes of
Mm.
having encountered and been drawn towards shiny objects.
Mm.
But then how important is it to also learn from our mistakes and to
It,
actually
yes,
move on rather than repeating it
absolutely.
again? Yep.
Yeah, it's a big one, and it's good to do mistakes. In fact, it's great to be a one mistake learner.
Ah,
Yeah, it's good to be a one mistake. Keep experimenting new things, but don't do the same mistake again. And that's, I mean, if you keep repeating, that's insanity, right? Like you're doing the same thing again and again and expecting
hoping for a
different
different
results.
result. Hoping for,
Yes. So I mean, mistakes is a part of the game, and failure is only feedback. It is not a it's only an event. It is not the person. Failure is just the event.
yeah.
So and all
So
these things.
are we really getting this? That failure is an event. It has happened at that point. Take away whatever you wish to from that and keep moving.
Yes,
So the onus is on any one of us to keep moving, not stick to it, not stick to even. So even a failure is a template, which doesn't mean that this template is going to stand. No, it's also gone. It's an event moving forward. And so you moved, and then what did you see for yourself?
then what I realized is, this personal journey of growth, it's like the growth of a bamboo tree. Like when I was investing in all these big courses and learning and learning and learning, nothing was visible in front of my eyes. Even though I would be spending thousands of rupees on courses and buying these things, but I know for sure that the foundation was getting set at that point of time. Like the bamboo tree, it grows for a long time, but you're never able to see anything on the top. It's growing the roots first. The
Going
roots are growing like deeper and
go
deeper.
deeper. Yep.
And once the shoot starts to grow, I mean, the growth is so much more faster than any other tree that you ever have seen. I mean, so that is the power of the bamboo tree. So I look at my entire learning journey like the bamboo tree. So for more than 6 to 7 years, I was completely in that absorption mode, was never seeing results. And just the last 2 years, I mean, the results has happened because of all those years of going
Yeah,
through it.
and a very, very important one, Sid, you brought out. And so I'll tell you an anecdote which happened years back. I was in Delhi studying it. In fact, I was in college that time, and people around me, very close to me, knew that I was going to take an alternative career. That's your child there, right?
Yeah, second
Fantastic.
one. If you
Wonderful.
excuse me, I'll just keep him outside the room. Yeah, he just came
No,
in.
no,
Just give
no.
me a second.
Let him walk in and out, please. Yeah, it'll be an
Okay.
absolute
Okay.
pleasure. Okay,
Okay,
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah.
You want to say
So I
hi?
remember one of my math teachers, hey, what's his name?
His name is Dhruva. Say hi.
Hey, Dhruva. So good to see you, my Shona. I look forward to
Yes.
meeting you all when in Chennai.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I'm keeping
Please go ahead.
Papa
Yeah.
away from him. So many people at that time used to ask me that how come I'm seeing this person on television, this person on television, how come you aren't there? And it takes a lot when people know that you are working at something, all right? And people are only looking at it because they are not looking at the roots, they are looking at the results. And it is so very important to have the courage to handle the comments that people will make when we are setting in the roots. And one of the things about the shining is that we try to start showing off things even before we have taken root. And this is something which you have brought out very beautifully in this thing, that the years of let Dhruva be there, please. It's an absolute pleasure. He's absolutely part of this conversation. All
Yes.
right, Sid, he's absolutely part of it. All right. So how important it is now, even this thing, and I'll come straight. So your wife is a musician, right? She's a singer herself.
Yes.
Yes.
She was in Indian Idol finalist 2006,
All
and
right.
then yeah, we got married in 2008, and then we launched an album in 2009. Yeah.
Wonderful. And Dhruva has
Yes.
just been sent some love by Pushpa Sharma. Hello, dear
Okay.
Dhruva.
Great.
Lots of love.
Great. Great.
Fantastic. And this is the amazing part. Sid, absolutely. This is fantastic. We are loving it. So here comes this important part for me. Uh, at that moment, you and I, all of us have weakness,
Yeah.
right? And there are these periods of complete vulnerability that we all go through. Absolute
Ashish,
vulnerability.
please excuse me. I think
No,
I'll
all
just
right,
keep him
all right,
out.
all
We can
right. So
continue the conversation. Just give me a
please
sec.
carry
Yeah.
on. Please carry on.
Yes.
I'll just take
Yeah.
it. Don't worry. Please do that. Please do that. So one of the interesting things that what Sid is bringing forth, and I want to ask him about, is that in that period when you're striking root, you're going deeper. Overtly, people are not seeing you showing results. So we all have to deal with very pointed questions. Very pointed questions. That are especially, we as actors, if you're slightly well known, you have to deal with it. In fact, on my YouTube channel, I put up a video last week which said, "Kya baat hai, Ashish dikhte nahi? How come Ashish you're not being seen?" So we as actors continuously face these kind of questions because people are not looking at the preparation which is going on. People are only looking at results. All right. So Sid, my question to you is in that vulnerable moment,
Mm.
how important do you think for us to be open about our vulnerability? Have you gained some things from vulnerability?
Absolutely. I mean, I remember one of those training programs that I attended. Blair Singer was the mentor, and I was on the stage, and he was actually working on all of us.
Yeah.
Working on us is just looking like an X-ray. Whatever we say is something, but was able to identify what was inside. So I was
Mm,
saying something, and then he was able to just, hit me straight on the main point that I need to be real.
mm,
Stop wearing any masks and portraying something. And I have to say that thanks to him, that authenticity or uh, whatever we want to call that, I mean, I was able to bring that out myself. So there's nothing to hide. Only when you have something else to
exactly.
to project a different kind of image to the world. I mean, that is such an important thing. And I'll tell you, personal development has been huge for unveiling those layers,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah,
which
and
is
I have discovered, Sid, that my vulnerabilities, there are my strengths, and then there are my vulnerabilities. I have
Mhm.
discovered that my growth has only been where I've been vulnerable, because that
Yes.
is where the skin is light. It
Mm.
even bleeds, and it allows for some new thoughts to come out. Where I'm
Yes.
strong, then I've just remained. So
Mm.
even as an actor, when you create new roles, you create
Mm.
some vulnerable moments for you to create some more aspects about it.
Mm.
So here is one thing. Even as we are talking of all this, how important is money? Money very clearly is driving all of us because we need to pay our bills. All right. So where does money fit into this game of vulnerability, learning, and the ability to make mistakes and learn from them? Where does money and success come in into this entire game?
Absolutely. It's a very, I love this topic, and I love this question. I'll start off with a quote by one of my other mentors. He's a great copywriter. His name is John Carton, and he says, "Money can solve a lot of problems that not having money brings about." Okay,
Simply
so
put, money can solve a lot of problems that not having money brings about.
Yeah.
There with you, my friend.
yeah. So money is a form of energy. It's a tool,
Yeah.
and what I realized is money is, it comes to, I mean, it's a byproduct of you adding value. See, money is a scorecard in business. Money is a scorecard of the kind of value that you are offering back to the world. So if you are having scarcity, then you got to look at, are you really adding value? Because it's like a flow. So you have to think about money as it's a tool, it's a form of energy. But having said that, the society there's also some deep level programming saying that money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. All the stuff that happens, the typical middle class, lower middle class foundation that's there. Sometimes that also keeps us stuck in our financial situation. Like, for example, some of us, we may not want to make more money than our father, for example, because there is some element over there. So no matter what you do at a conscious level, subconsciously you are not willing to go beyond that because of some internal programming that you have when it comes to money. So you got to remove those weeds there.
Sid,
Yeah.
I'll open up to something which I haven't
Please.
shared with very many people, but something just came up for me. Growing up in a middle class family in Delhi where we didn't have a car, where we wanted a car, the conversations around were that the rich were corrupt. Everything was to do with black money. Anybody has a car is black money. Not spoken by my parents. I'm just saying that the
Perception.
rich
Yeah.
had made money through. So when I came down to Bombay, and then I got my Maruti 800, which was my first car, and then a few years later got my mobile phone. Sid, I couldn't tell people that the price I paid for a mobile phone. I had become an actor. I was well known. But I was very conscious. I would tell a less price of the thing, or say, yeah, somebody gave it to me. Just so that people don't think that I have the money now to buy it. You become rich. Are you getting, within quotes, rich? And I get what you're saying, that probably that also stops us. We are kind of stopping that pipeline where we are saying that rich is bad, having more money is bad. Yeah, please go on. Please go on.
And I can totally relate with what you're saying, because if you look at even in the movies, right? Yeah, Spider-Man is a poor guy, except Batman, okay? But if you look at everything, Titanic, it was a poor person who's a good guy. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's in every single, I'm sure even in many of the scripts that you would have gone through, it's the underdog that is the good person and the rich person is the bad person. It's like, yeah. What are your thoughts on this? Like, is that a formula like thing even in the movie world?
Yeah, so we like the underdog to win. We like the underdog to win, and therefore somehow see the scripts are made to appeal to a larger set of people. And when a larger set of people don't have, then it's easy to create a have as a bad guy, because this guy is less in number. And but the problem here is that it also sometimes, when people get rich, so if you say that if I want to be rich, then I have to be bad. And I always felt that it's a great idea to have amazingly wonderful and great rich people, so that people can aspire that, hey, making money and being successful doesn't mean that I need to take shortcuts.
Yeah.
Okay, I can work hard, I can learn, I can, what I find very powerful is that I can impact more people in my life if I have to succeed. So when the game becomes that it's my responsibility and how I can augment my capacity and impact more people. And that's what you have done, right? That's what you teach people.
Absolutely. And even in our community, we have like a 10% charity rule. So every person who comes in, 10% of whatever they make, they have to give towards any charity or cause that they believe in. So that whole initiative to make money, there's a meaning behind it. It's not just about hoarding and flashing things and driving fancy cars. And that's okay. If that's your choice, that's fine. But there's an element of giving under that, and that makes the whole process so much more. If I have to use the word holistic. So just in the last 3 months, I think our community, we have given over 1.4 crores as a community in charities, like towards education, health. And the vision is I want to take it to a 10 crore a month charity goal. That means as a community, we need to be making 100 crores per month.
100 crores.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's going to take time, but that's the vision that I've set. So now the whole intention to make money it's become a different, it is spiritualized, if I should call it. It is not.
And
for
what you're talking about is
yeah.
finding a purpose.
Yes.
And that's something which I, which really kind of when we share with people is that if we look at it, money is felt bad when it is coupled with arrogance. And as an actor, something or people, anybody who's successful, they are deemed arrogant by people because for better measure, because people do become arrogant. Because remember, we as human beings are used to having less. We're always less. But when we get success, when we get excess, I really think that's when we need to work on ourselves.
Yes.
Because that is where the mind goes berserk, said. All right. And so here is my question to you. What is your take on managing this guy as you are moving towards that journey of having more than you thought you could? The mind has a role. Yeah.
My mentor, he says, money and power, it accentuates what is already there inside you. So those people who don't have a strong value system, when you give them a lot of money and power, and boom, that actually magnifies.
Yeah.
So it's so important to have a strong principles or foundation or values, if we should call it. And I love the whole value exercise that Dr. DeMartini talks about. Beautiful. He's really deep in the value system. So when you have strong value system, and then when things are given to you, then it starts to have a beautiful effect in the world.
Would you like to share about that value system for people here?
So a value system could be whatever is going to help society. It's like, I do not know how to put this in words. Like I don't remember the exact things, but Dr. DeMartini talks about there are 8 or 9, I think 7 dimensions or 7 different values of life. Like you have mental, spiritual, emotional, career, vocational, and there's a different aspect to that. So when you have the right values installed in all of these, then you'd be a very well-rounded human being that can create an impact in the world. So that is one part of it.
So one part which really kind of drew me to this question, I'll share with you.
Yes.
I've discovered that when you get that, actually all of us have great joy when we can contribute to others. So contribution is an amazing part of for example, when a guest comes to any household in India, when somebody offers a glass of water, and in different parts there is some sweet given. As they say in Bengal or someplace, if there is no sweet, a batasa is given, the sugar-coated thing, if not a sweet. Now, for me, values are my ability to respect the other. And that respect the other, in English, is, you may call it empathy, you may call it any which way, but to really feel for someone else. When somebody walks in saying, are you all right? Are you warm? Please sit down. Are you hot? Please sit down. Okay. That empathy. And somewhere for me, when business and empathy can walk together, I think that's the amazing combination where your ability to create extraordinary results and your ability to think for others can walk together. And that is where holistically, somewhere, whatever that we are doing, we are not cutthroat, like we're not allowed at any cost, that thing. And if we can leave and something which inspires me about you, Sid, and if I may share that, is the grace that you bring to your teaching, the grace that you bring to your journey. And my next question, which I wanted to ask you was, how important do you think is building the community? Because without empathy, no community can be built. What's your take on the need for the community?
It's huge. Like the previous generation of businesses, probably the last decade, you could get away with very transactional business, like just pay for whatever you want, pay for a service, pay for a product, and goodbye. Where you're looking at everyone as a number on their Excel sheet. But now, if you're looking into the next decade, when there are many people doing very similar things, what's going to help you differentiate from the others is the aspect of building a community and nurturing your customers and being there for them after they have
Wow.
bought your product.
Wow. Investing
Yes.
in the human being, investing in their experience, making sure that they stay with that experience. You have not sold something and gone away.
Exactly.
And continuity for me is that, Sid, when we realize that we are not fly by night, we are not here now and then gone.
Yeah.
If we can create a continuity to our work, and that's where I think we are directly connected to purpose.
Exactly. Because there's
Where
a bigger
purpose-
mission to business. It is not just about the profit. A profit will be the byproduct of the customer's experience.
Yeah.
And if they want more, they keep coming back for more. Yeah.
I would love to hear about your mission. I've heard it and I would love the world to know. What is your mission, Siddharth Shekhar?
Thank you for asking. The mission is to create 1 million digital teachers, because teachers and leaders transform the society. And if I can help 1 million people take their expertise and not just make that into a business, but business is one part of it, but if they can make that into communities, if they can start building communities around their passion, then that's going to make a much more beautiful world. And to take it to one step further than this, so imagine we have 1,000 or say 10,000 people creating their own community. So I have, like, say 8,000 people in my community. Let's say we have hundreds of thousands people having their own communities with thousands of people. What is really what wakes me up every morning is the fact that I know one day all of these communities can cross-pollinate.
Wow.
And we can actually help each other in different ways.
This
And
is
that's what
exponential.
society is all about. Yeah.
This is exponential, Sid. This is really exponential. And just to, add to it, traveling as an actor and, reached some very interesting numbers of people through my performance. And the love and affection that people from across the world, when you get to act with them. And I feel extremely humbled with that. And then a few years back, when I started this journey of mine, sharing with people what else is possible, for me, it was that I had to begin. So if one has to begin, and what are communities? For me, communities are when you expand, you inspire more people for them to go and inspire others.
Yes.
All right. And to be honest, I started this off at the age of 50. All right. So I started playing my second innings at the age of 50. And therefore, I'm passionate about the second innings. When I tell people, that's very important that, you get that the second half is there. All right. In fact, just to let you know, even my YouTube channel is a very new thing. We've got a lot of traction on LinkedIn, but my YouTube channel is very new. Very recently, just would you believe, about 3 or 4 months back, I started this YouTube channel.
Okay.
So any one of you who have loved this, please subscribe to this channel also, so that I can reach out to more people. So one of the key things for me, Sid, has been that apart from being just an actor and telling people anecdotes about films, how about doing something more such that people go out and not share anecdotes, but make an impact on other lives? Because I really believe, Sid, one life, right? You and I have had that one life. Can we create this life to be extraordinarily larger than we ever imagined it to be?
Yes.
Yeah. And imagine when individuals, not just you and me, but each person who's here, Diva is here, Sandeep is there, Ansari Imtiaz, Vinay is here, each one, if each one gets that they have the power, they have the capacity to ignite so many more, just imagine what is possible. And as a final question, I want to ask you, what's fantastic about your platform, I find, is that people are teaching different things that they are good at. Just like the young Sid started learning keyboards and started teaching it. In your community, different sorts of people are sharing and developing their ability to teach their best. Tell us something about that.
Yeah, the beauty is we have people from all walks of life coming in.
Yeah.
Having said that, there are seven things, there are seven areas in which they teach in, and I'll give you this, because there are only seven problems that people have. If I have to like
Please.
break it down, because teaching is not about giving information. Teaching is about helping people get the result with the
Okay.
information that you're giving them. So it is normally the typical education system is, okay, let's just cram all the information according to the curriculum just so that they're able to get that knowledge. But the way that I approach teaching in the community is I tell people, okay, pick one of these seven areas or the seven problems that you can solve, and then you create a curriculum around that so that you can solve that problem for that person with the path of least resistance. So that is the goal. The first area is business growth. So we have a
Business
lot of
growth.
people, business growth. People want to grow in their business, and under business growth, there are many subtopics. Like you want to help people grow in their sales or in their marketing or in the HR, and there are many spokes to the business wheel itself. So
Got it.
business growth is the first problem that you can solve by you're helping
Got it.
entrepreneurs grow their business. Second area is career growth. So under career, there are two segments. You have people who are in the workforce right now, working professionals who want to upgrade themselves. They want to get a better salary. So you can train them on soft skills, on hard skills, on technical knowledge, so that they can be more valuable in their workforce. So that is one area. And then we have another category under career growth, which is the students. Like I have many teachers in my community who are teaching physics, chemistry, maths, biology online, and they're building their own community around that, completely online.
Fantastic.
So that's the second problem that we are solving, is a career problem. The third problem is a health problem. So health and wellness is the third industry. So under health, again, there are two approaches you can take. One is a problem focused approach. So people they're undergoing, say, diabetes or stress or obesity. So I have many coaches in my community who are creating courses around fixing that particular problem. The other approach to health is a method focused approach. So we have yoga experts, intermittent fasting experts, millet experts, other nutrition experts who are creating courses and all that stuff around those topics. So that's the third problem one can solve. Number 4 is make money. Everybody wants to make money, so it's like how to make money through real estate, how to make money through stock markets, how to make money through Forex. And there are so many subcategories under that. Number 5 is relationships. So under relationships, you would have subtopics like parenting, couples coming together, and we have many subtopics under that. Number 6 is personal development. That also is a niche. Like under personal development, we have so many topics like NLP, tarot reading, crystal healing, many other unique occult sciences that we have coaches who are creating courses around that. And number 7 is the creativity problem, because a lot of people now, they are learning, or they want to enhance their creativity skills by learning music online, painting online, martial arts online. In fact, my first son, he does online taekwondo classes. Everything's happening through Zoom. So we have even those kind of tutors who are coming in. So just to recap: business growth, career growth, health and wellness, make money, personal development, creativity, and relationships, arts and crafts and relationships. These are the 7 areas where anyone can, if you have a passion in one of these 7 areas, you can take that passion and make that into a knowledge business.
Yeah. This is amazing. So what, just as a culmination of this, Sid, what you're creating is the ability for people to create futures for themselves in areas they are passionate about. They need not say that, hey, listen, I'm passionate about this, but I have to do this. Consider you do not have to do anything. You may choose to do what you wish to do if you can prepare yourself and develop your abilities. And I think, Sid, what you are doing is that you are allowing people to improve themselves, to improve their life. There's nothing better than my own ability to do things with my hands, with my brains, and actually also reaching out and create and learn from others. So hats off to you, Sid. I'm, inspired as ever by the stuff that you do, and all of you that you are watching. It'll be great, if you please reach out. Sid, how can people reach out to you? I want so many more people to go out and, if somebody, can we just post it somewhere? What is the website where we can have you? when they can reach out to you?
The best place to reach out to me is again, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I keep posting in-depth videos every week, and I have a lot of interviews that I do with my students who have achieved great milestones. So YouTube channel is a great place to start. And
Okay.
if you want to connect with me live, I do live sessions, free sessions every week. You can go to sidz.co/freedom. So sids.co/freedom, and we can meet live. So I do a live session every week where I explain more about my model.
Fantastic. So sids.co.
sids.co/freedom.
Freedom. Fantastic. So all of you, this has been a phenomenal Sunday morning for me. Sids, I've learned a lot. I'm sure all of you have gathered something for yourself. That's what we intend to do with Living Forward. Getting people who create something amazing living forward, not just thinking about the past or stuff that could have done. And therefore, I'm also inviting you that if you like this show, if you like some of the talks that I do, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ashish Vidyarthi Official. I would love you to go and subscribe to Sid's YouTube channel too, as well as going and meeting him on Sid's. Again, Sid's.
sids.co/freedom.
.co.freedom. Thank you, Sid Rajsekar. Thank you so very much for making it. And please carry on the being the beacon that you are to so many people. I want to thank each one of you who took time off on a Sunday morning here in India or whichever time in other parts of the world. Appreciate you for taking time to delve a little deeper into this today. Dear friends, the stuff that I take away from this conversation is that we have ways out of this scenario, and they are made and they are paved by learning. So let's keep learning, expanding ourselves, because you and I can do much more with our life. We just need a little bit of an augmentation. Thank you so much. Have a phenomenal Sunday. Thank you, Sids, once again. Appreciate you all for joining in. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thank you.